Taiwan has gotten much international attention in the past few years for several reasons, including, like you just mentioned, Taiwan's important role in global supply chain. Of course, right now the semiconductor is one of the most important one, and as well as the increased military coercion from China. So what advice would you give to Taiwan on how to further strengthen its resilience in its democracy, economy, and national security?
Well, I wouldn't want to tell Taiwan how it should think or what it should do or what its goals should be. Yeah. But one thing that I thought a lot about during the trip, after speaking with people about what they saw about Taiwan's security environment, is it became sort of puzzling to me in terms of not really understanding Taiwan's grand strategy, or bluntly, not really understanding Taiwan's plan. So what I mean is, when we talk about a grand strategy, we talk about how countries create security for themselves. Yeah. And, you could talk about like a theory of victory. And I guess I'm not sure what Taiwan's theory of victory is in the circumstances that it finds itself in. And given that these circumstances have changed so significantly over time, I think it really is time for an updating of a grand strategy debate. So I'm thinking about three trends specifically. So the first is that Taiwan is arguably one of the most threatened countries in the world. As you say, there's a superpower, China, very close by, who says it owns Taiwan, excuse me, and says it may take it by force. And China's been improving its military capabilities for the past several decades. And again, with probably the major goal of establishing control over Taiwan. The second trend is that from what I can see, Taiwan's people and government increasingly seem to have a sense of separateness from China, a distinct identity, and the sense that they want to preserve their own autonomy, that they don't want to simply become absorbed. And then the third trend is related to Taiwan's defense efforts, which is that as China was building up its military, Taiwan's defense spending was falling and then flattening out. So again, we find ourselves at a place where Taiwan spends very little on defense as a percentage of its total wealth. And it's got a lot of wealth. It has tremendous resources, but still spends below the global average. So in essence, when I take a step back and I look at those three trends, that's the picture that puzzles me. I don't understand how Taiwan plans to maintain its autonomy in response to the very high level of threat that it faces. And one thing that would reconcile all this would be that Taiwan puts tremendous faith in the United States as a security guarantor. So that would sort of reconcile all those trends. But also that particular decision, I would question, because obviously Taiwan is not a formal ally of the United States. There's, of course, long-standing ties between the two countries, and a sense of commitment to Taiwan, historically in the US Congress in particular. At the same time, though, again, when we're talking about trends, the long-time US bipartisan foreign policy that would have supported military intervention on Taiwan's behalf is significantly weakening. So that's one of the big trends on the US side. that I think needs to inform Taiwan's thinking. So again, this is the picture that I certainly don't envy Taiwan's circumstances, right? These are very challenging circumstances, but this is the picture that I think Taiwan's people and leaders are forced to grapple with.
Yeah, thank you for your insight. Yeah, indeed. And currently most people in Taiwan, I would say that the vast majority, they prefer to keep the status quo, in the Taiwan's trade, and of course they all try to enjoy the current life in terms of democracy and the freedom of life and so on. So yeah, I believe as a fully democratic countries, we have of course we need to work harder on some aspect, but also under the current situation we are facing, all the challenges posed by an authoritarian country. And actually it's not only Taiwan. I would say that also we see that other countries in other regions all facing the same situation, same challenges.